Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Banana Q Podcast. I'm Ray, and joined as always by my co-host Dee.
There is a saying that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So this is also definitely true in cultural aspects, right? Like,
Mm,
what could be beautiful for the Philippines may not be beautiful in Singapore, for example, right? So I
mm,
had a culture shock experience on this when I moved to Singapore. I was talking to some Singaporeans about celebrities and their celebrities, our celebrities, and I was saying that I did not really find the Singapore actors as attractive compared to Philippine ones. Maybe because that's what I was
mm,
exposed to, right? And they asked me to
mm-hmm.
show them an attractive Filipino actress, and I proudly showed them the picture of Kristine Hermosa from Pangako Sayo, which we mentioned in our episode about telenovelas. And a lot of Filipinos actually find her beautiful. In fact, just recently, because my friend had listened to our episode, she
Mm.
told me that Kristine Hermosa, well, my friend's name is also Christine. I don't know if that's the bias, but no. But she said that she's natitibo daw siya kay Kristine Hermosa. To translate that, she means she is gay for Christine. Basically, she is her girl crush. When I showed Singaporeans this picture, they were not impressed. And one of them even said, she's fat. Like, are you serious? What do you mean?
Oh, poor Kristine Hermosa.
Yeah, I don't. First of all, I don't think
If
she's
she
fat.
migrates to Singapore, she won't be beautiful. She's fat. Oh no.
So yeah, so that to be fair, I also did not find their actresses attractive, right? So it's really what
Mm.
you are exposed to while growing up.
Well, yeah, that's true. Foreigners as well. If you go to the West, what and who they find attractive also is kind of different, right? So
Mm,
it really depends on the eyes of the beholder. So now
mm,
that we are on that topic, let's now ask what is considered attractive in the Philippines?
mm,
There are four that we know of,
mm.
and we can conclude that these are things that we are not, right? The first, fair skin.
Mm-hmm.
We are kind of obsessed with having whiter skin for some
Yeah.
reason, right? Like there are a lot of beauty products that is specifically focused on giving us a fairer skin.
Mm.
Likas papaya, um,
Glutathione.
Eskinol, glutathione, chinchanso. Chinchanso makes us fair. Yeah.
I guess it does. I can't remember
It's,
what my mom used to use that, yes. And I hated
mm,
that product because it smelled bad.
yeah. So fair skin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that we don't naturally have, right? But
Mm.
we aspire to have one because we think having a fairer skin is more attractive.
Mm-mm.
Especially before. I think it has changed recently, I would say.
Mm-mm.
Like we've somehow kind of shifted as well, giving preference to morena. But
Yes.
when we were younger, right? Fairer skin is kind of like the gold standard.
Yeah, and you would notice that in the actresses, right?
Mm.
Vilma Santos and, whoever. To be fair, Nora Honor was Morena, but I don't think she was considered beautiful, right? Like Vilma Santos is beautiful. Again, you have a blank on your face, so you probably have no idea what
Mm.
I'm talking about, don't you?
No, I know these people, but because they're kind of like the olden generation, and
Yes.
our TV back then is not that good quality. So I can't really judge properly if they had fair skin, like
Okay, got it.
especially Nora Honor. Right? I think
Mm.
majority of her films are in black and white. So,
I don't think so. Is it? Okay, never mind. Let's move on. Okay, yes, but yes, in the past, it was more prevalent, this fair skin thing, but recently we
mm,
have noticed, like even in the contestants that we sent to Miss Universe, in the past it was common to send like mestizas, right? Like, or people who are
mm,
of mixed blood. So they tend to be fairer skinned and
mm,
not like the average Filipina that you see.
that's right.
But now I think there is starting to be like, maybe because not just in the Philippines, but because generally there is a movement for this globally.
Mm,
And, even Filipinos are more exposed to the internet and whatnot. And probably that is why people are
mm,
starting to like, oh, be proud of your morena skin or something.
yeah. I had this kind of not necessarily colleague, but an acquaintance. He's from Sweden, and he complained about how our TV commercials are dominated by white. Is that
White women?
how do you say that? White
Whitening
skin,
products?
whitening. Yeah,
Mm,
whitening products.
mm.
And he was like, "You're already beautiful as it is. Like, why do you wanna destroy the natural complexion of brown? Because to him, brown is more attractive, because probably
Mm.
because in Sweden everybody is white,
Yeah,
right?
maybe there's that.
Uh,
Yeah. Whatever is more common, we don't find attractive for some reason. Like in the
yeah.
US, right? They would actually tan their skin. Like
Mm.
oh yeah, like spray tan it or go under the sun to be tan and risk skin cancer and
Which is the opposite.
yeah, exactly. So why can't we just be happy with what we have? So I that's probably what's part of causing the problem, right? I mean, all these
Mm.
companies, they're not gonna make any
Mm.
money if their goal is to make people happy in their own skin.
Yeah.
So they have to force you to buy something to make you what you're not. So maybe they are part of the
Mm.
problem. I don't know. Yeah.
And the second one is being thin, just
Yeah.
like Kristine Hermosa. She's not
No, but
she's
I
not
don't think she
beautiful
is.
because she's fat.
That's no in Singapore. I think in Asia generally being thin, and maybe not
Mm.
just and maybe globally. But I've noticed that
Mm.
in other, especially Westerners, right? They are more
Mm.
comfortable even if they are a bit chubby. So even here in Hong Kong,
Mm.
I noticed that the white women, they don't care. They just wear sleeveless shirts or whatever. They don't
Mm.
care. In the Philippines, because I've always been on the chubby side, right? If I wear sleeveless, people will joke, "Oh, do you want to go boxing?" They always
What?
notice your
What? Boxing?
because
What
my
a
arms are big.
bizarre
Yes.
comment.
Yes. So they like to make comments on your weight. And so because they
Mm.
prefer, because I guess most of the Filipinos are thin. So if you're not, like even before, like now I'm like really fat, but even before I wasn't that fat, but I felt I was fat because of these comments. You are not considered attractive
Yeah.
if you are like even slightly above,
Mm.
what your skinny size is supposed to be, right?
Mm. But it's so hard to stay thin in the Philippines though, because we eat rice 3 times a
Oh
day.
yeah.
It's so hard to burn those carbs.
Yeah, that
So
is true.
it's very unrealistic standard
Yeah, I
to achieve.
agree. Yep.
Mm. And third one, and this is something that virtually very little for us to do, and that is having a narrow nose with a higher bridge. And unless, of course, you have a lot of money to pay Vicky Bello, then you can change your nose, right? But
Mm.
like, if you're
Yeah.
born with not so flattering nose,
Filipinos tend to have like a flatter nose or a
mm,
broader bridge, right? That's the norm
mm,
for us. That is what we see on most people. I don't know why that is considered beautiful. Again, maybe, the industries that make money want to make money off people's insecurities.
mm,
But the Philippines is not like Korea where it's very normal to get
plastic surgery.
yeah, it's not as common, right? It's not like in
Yeah,
Korea. I
no.
don't know how true it is, but they are saying that even somebody as young as 16, their parents would give them like a gift of getting plastic surgery. I don't know how true that is, but if that's true, it's not like that in the Philippines at all because plastic surgery is very expensive. And maybe people
Yeah.
who do that are like, celebrities or and even so they would deny it, right? Like, no, I didn't have
Mm.
anything done. It's just that, I just matured and my my face changed for some reason or whatever.
I morphed.
Yeah.
Well, aside from plastic surgery, is there any other way to change the structure of your nose? Maybe doing it with pit?
My father used to
Mm.
do that to me. So I grew
What?
up very insecure about my nose because my dad has a better looking nose than me. And then he would
Mm.
always do that to me. Like he would, squeeze my nose or what like
Mm.
and I find it hard to breathe because he's squeezing my nose. As if that would change it. I don't think it worked, by the way. And also, yeah, not just him though, but I remember suddenly that we had a schoolmate before,
Mm.
like they were siblings, and they had something injected to their nose. I don't know if it's silicone or whatever. Apparently, it's cheaper than plastic surgery. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was injected in their nose to make their bridge seem higher, right?
Okay.
Because in the Philippines, the higher nose bridge is considered more attractive. That is why
Mm.
people do this, or
Mm.
people's parents do this to me. So yeah,
I see. Interesting. And the fourth one is height.
mm,
We find taller people more attractive, and I think it's it's common, yeah,
Mm,
in Philippines, right? We kind of gravitate towards taller people,
mm.
and we want to be taller. That's why we jump
Yeah.
during New Year's
Oh
Eve,
yes.
jump and jump
Yeah, but
in the
our
hopes.
genetically Filipinos are shorter than,
Mm,
Westerners, for
average,
example. So that's really an unfair thing to expect from us. But yes, you're right,
mm,
especially for men, I think, because there is this people are more attracted to taller men specifically, right?
mm.
Women want their partners to be taller. And I remember my brother used to, yes, you're right, he used to do this stretching exercises just to be taller.
Did it work?
He did grow taller. I don't know if it was the stretching exercise or he just because he was just growing. And I think there
Mm.
were some other people who would drink this. Is it cherry fur or something? Remember those things that you
Ah,
could
yeah, yeah,
drink
yeah.
to grow taller?
You're right. Yeah, it's a food supplement, right? Like a
Yeah,
vitamin something.
exactly.
Food supplement, drink milk to have stronger bones,
Mm.
eating mushroom, just like Super Mario.
Really much.
Yeah, Super
Okay.
Mario eats mushroom
Oh
and
my
he
god, yes.
grows taller, right?
I think my brother's friend drank growth balls or so. I don't know what those were made
Growth
of.
balls?
Yeah, growth balls. I don't know what was in it. Was it even legit or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But according to my
That
brother, it
sounds
supposedly worked. But I don't
janky.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have no idea if it's true.
Well, if you can't really grow an inch, right? There are other options. You could buy heel-toed shoes.
Oh,
Oh, I wore one in our during our wedding.
did it work? Did you seem a lot taller?
Not by a lot, but at least because Monica, my wife, wore high heels, right? So I need to
Yeah,
at least
match her high
match.
heels.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the unfairness of it. Because women we can always wear high heels and they're cheap and they're common, right? Whereas for
Mm,
men, if you do wear those, you have to hide them somehow. Like your shoes have to not look obvious that you're wearing heels. Whereas women, it's
yeah.
okay. It's obvious. People can
Mm.
see the unfairness of it, I guess.
These four qualities that we judge people to be attractive or not. Isn't just prevalent in celebrities, right? But even in the places that we live, in our neighborhood, in our
Mm,
communities, in school, at work, these are the four criteria
yeah.
that we judge people.
There probably are more, but these are the most common ones, I would think. Like
Mm,
the popular
mm,
girls who are considered pretty in high
mm,
school or whatever, they tend to be exhibiting all these, right?
mm,
And for me, I actually just remembered I have a personal experience on the fairness thing. So when I was,
mm.
young, I was in Zamboanga City, which is, I don't know, it's near the sea or the sun is hotter there for some reason. But whatever it was, it made my skin darker than, it currently is. And then when I moved to Metro Manila, my skin became fairer. And after that, people
Mm.
I had known my whole life, for the first time ever, started telling me that I was pretty. And they asked me
Mm.
what I did, like facials? Likas papaya, glutathione,
Because
all those
papaya.
things that are advertised. Yeah, and I
Mm.
told them it was probably just that Manila water had way too much chlorine. So I don't know if that's true, but remember there are rumors about that. I don't know.
Not with the water that you drink, right? But with the water that
No,
you
that you
shower
bathed
in.
with. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's supposed to be. I don't know how true it is, but that's a rumor that has been around for a long time. Like people would say, "Oh, she's
Mm.
fairer because she moved to Manila." That sort of thing. So I don't know how true that is. But the question is, why is it that these traits that you mentioned, they are not really like the traits of the average Filipino? So
Mm.
usually these are of mestizos or mixed race, which you mentioned earlier.
Mm.
So I guess the question is why is this the case? And one of the things that I could think of, and a lot of people attribute, is to something called colonial mentality, which is defined as the internalized attitude of ethnic or cultural inferiority felt by people as a result of colonization. It corresponds with the belief that the cultural values of the colonizer are inherently superior to one's own. So, since the
Mm.
Philippines was colonized by Spain and later, in a way, also by Americans,
Mm.
maybe that's the reason why they seem more beautiful to us compared to our own selves.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, which is
We,
sad
we
though.
try to imitate them, right?
Yeah.
Everything that they do, everything that they wear, and how they look, we try to imitate because to us, I don't know, subconsciously, we think being them is better than who we are, which is sad.
Yeah, which is sad, actually. Shouldn't be the case.